James Wiseman, you're just breaking the rules. You 12-game suspension by the NCAA for the good old accepting of money. What we seem to have happen way too often here in the NCAA of this case of his being obviously the family member. Now, I've already talked about how I feel about this with the whole ridiculous rule in the first place, you know, with the Chase Young video about the NCAA's money-related policies. Now, obviously, you want to have integrity in the league. We don't want these guys getting paid to go to teams. But not getting paid to go to teams, but obviously not supposed to get paid to go to teams. But let's be completely honest. Well, let's not pretend that there isn't a bunch of loopholes that these really good teams are exploiting to get some of these players and some of these recruits on their teams. In cases like this, where this guy went to Memphis because he was getting the money to move to Memphis, getting that 11 grand. At the end of the day, it's a rule though, and you broke it. It was a clear as day rule. A big reason this guy went to Memphis was because his family received that 11 grand to help him establish a life down there. Here's the big issue with the Wiseman case for me. The NCAA rule is 9 games for this violation. They tacked on 3 games because Memphis was playing him. Now, I get the problem there. I get the issue. Don't do it. Every other team doesn't do it. They bench the player until the ruling comes out. But for you to go out there and blame Wiseman, this isn't a Memphis punishment. This is a Wiseman punishment. You want to punish Memphis, you find them. You do something to the program. They didn't do something to the program. They did something to the individual. If you're Wiseman and your coach says you're playing tonight, I don't care what the NCAA says. Are you going to tell them no? No. 95% of players are going to listen to their coach and they're going to play that game. So why do you blame Wiseman for that when it was a school problem? You punish the school for that one. And the worst part of this, I think of all of it, is he had to pay the money back. He had to pay the money back, but he didn't just have to pay that $11,500 back, which is the rule, but he had to donate it to charity. Now, don't get me wrong, charity is a fantastic thing to be donating money to, but what are you teaching the player here? Hey, you can take money from this guy, but you don't pay that guy back when you take his money. You give it to something else. What kind of lesson is that? I can't help but laugh at that. Like, if you're taking a loan out, you just don't pay it back to somebody else. And more importantly, like, that is just the lighter side of the subject. Like I said, charity's a great thing to send the money to. You want to donate $11,500 to the charity and say, you got plenty of money. You do it for him. He'll pay the money back to the lender or the donor in the first place. But this big problem here is this. Do you think he has the money? Did you think for 1 second the reason he took that money is because he needed it? I mean, there's 11 grand. Obviously, to the billionaires and millionaires and associate the NCAA, they ain't worried about that. It's 11 grand. But to somebody like him, that was clearly life-changing enough to have him go and play for Memphis, which again goes back to the integrity of the NCAA. You want to keep that intact. You don't want guys being bribed to play for programs. But fix it then. These guys need it. If he didn't need that 11 grand, he wouldn't have taken it. I don't know if the NCAA realizes this yet, and they still clearly have him, but you don't come out of high school with a lot of money. And you also don't have a lot of time to get a job in college when you're a full-time student and you're an athlete. Where are you going to get the money to pay for things? Some reason, somewhere down the line, the NCAA is going to have to look that one through. Pay the players. We've already talked about it a million times. All I see out of this is the NCAA trying to keep its integrity, not having scandalous recruits, but some other managing to have just as much, if not more, integrity taken away going down this route.